Welcome to the other side where sports meet soul. I am your host, Kyla, and I'm back again, baby. Lately, I have been thinking about having a regulated nervous system and how important that is when you deal with pressure, identity, adversity, all of the things, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life. And when you think about regulating your nervous system, that may also come with regulating your emotions. I wanted to talk about emotional avoidance versus emotional regulation. And what seems to be a lot of when I specifically talk to men, they tell me they haven't felt certain emotions because they haven't been permitted to feel it. At times, and it can be situational, why do we wait for someone else to validate our pain before we allow ourselves to acknowledge it or feel it? And who decided that? There is a quote from one of my favorite books I read in high school. And with this book, I feel that this quote resonates with my childhood and my adult life. And it's very famous because pain demands to be felt. So if you avoid that pain, what does that turn into? What does it evolve into? That quote, pain demands to be felt, is from The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I think a lot of men in sports may avoid emotions by staying busy, distracting themselves through external things to focus more so on what's happening around them than what's happening within them. Emotional regulation is allowing that emotion to be present and to be acknowledged without letting it consume you or without letting it control you. Because when you do have a nervous system that is regulated, I feel that it would be natural for your emotions to regulate with it. But when your body experiences certain emotions, you may experience a fight or flight experience. And when that happens, you're not necessarily processing those emotions, you're surviving them. And when your body is in survival mode, it seems to kind of rush through the motions that comes with emotions. Hey, I didn't even mean to do that. Because pain shows up everywhere. Right? Pain can show up in leadership. It can show up in pursuing your dreams. It can show up in relationships. It can show up in friendships. It can show up within yourself with so many different things that can play a factor or play a part in that. Avoiding pain doesn't make you stronger. Feeling it and regulating that is what does. But it's a lot easier said than done, of course. There's something that I've mentioned in one of my other interviews, and it's about finding a flow state within yourself and imagining your emotions in a body of water and how it can be calm, how there can be ripples, how there can be big waves as well. And that being connected to how you observe and absorb your own emotions without letting it consume you so that you can get back to that flow state. When you allow your emotions to run through you rather than around you, you're evolving. You're giving yourself the space to sit in that discomfort. When you sit in discomfort with yourself, you can learn how to hold it and the capacity you have. Or I feel like my nervous system, as I have grown into the woman I am, has been in survival mode. Through my experience, survival mode isn't necessarily leaving room for feeling. It leaves more room to avoid. I think regulation, when it comes to your emotions, it's safety in your body while allowing to feel what needs to be felt. There can be the perspective of emotional regulation means that you're always calm or always neutral in high intensity situations. However, what I really think that means is that you are with your emotions rather than running away from them. Because I just feel that sooner or later it's going to catch up with you. And then what are you left with? I think there is pain in growth. I think there's pain in discipline when you're coming out of an alignment from shedding the person you were and stepping into a new alignment of who you're supposed to be. Allow yourself to sit with what comes up. It's demanding to be felt. And in order to release it, you have to feel it within. So not letting it absorb and consume you, but acknowledging what it is, being able to reflect on it, see what it may be stemming from. How can you move forward? How can you address this with yourself that's going to help you continue to evolve in the person that you want to be and that you're becoming? Rather than looking at emotions being felt as a weakness, you can change the perspective of it more so being where you have a regulated, calming nervous system that is giving you strength in your emotional intelligence and maturity. So the question isn't whether you're going to feel pain. You will. The question is, are you avoiding it or regulating it?